Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if anyone is new here, thank you for clicking on the video. Also, if you are returning, I just wanted to say I'm so grateful for you, and it's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video today and just like sit down and reintroduce myself basically, and just to let you guys get to know me a little bit better. I popped up one of those assumption boxes on Instagram, and I thought it'd be really funny and just fun to just like answer some of those questions, but also sort of explain to you like with where I've been at with YouTube and everything, because YouTube is such a huge part of my life and it's really one of the things that makes me so happy. And it's that one thing that I've never wanted to really let go of, but it's also been very hard for me to like show up and post and share my life, because I feel like there's so much that's changed in my life and I've changed so much as a person that it was hard for me to let go of that old identity of who I was when I first started YouTube, because I started posting on this channel in 2016. I just joined the gym, I just got into fitness, I was just figuring out healthy eating, and I was living in London in a long-term relationship, and years have gone by and I have changed so much, like physically, mentally, spiritually, like in life. And it's been really beautiful to bring you guys on that journey, but at the same time, like I think I've always like held on to that idea of who I was when I first started, which was one of the reasons that a lot of you guys subscribed to me. And I felt like it was so hard to show you who I was changing into, because I didn't want to let go of that person in case you didn't like maybe the new me or the new videos I was putting out. But when you grow in life, like in all areas, there are going to be friends, people, jobs that you just have to leave and let go of as you like transition and transform. And for me, it's just, I want to share that growth with you guys of who I am, because that's what YouTube has always been about for me. It's just sharing my life, connecting with you, and like maybe it's to bring a bit of joy into your day, maybe it's to just like help you with fitness or help change your perspective on things. And I just am at such a happy place in my life. It's time for me to welcome you guys into that and just welcome in the new. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully you guys stick around for like this version of Jade. And you know, it's hard to let go of an old identity or a life that you thought you were gonna have and step into a new life, but it's also so exciting and so beautiful and amazing. So yes, I just wanted to say that because it's been hard. I feel like I'd post and then I'd like be like holding on to like that old Jade and trying to be that, and it's like, no, this is like the new Jade, and I'm 27 this year now and living in Bali, and life is just so different. And so yeah, wanted to share that with you guys and bring you on like this phase of my life versus like trying to hold on to the last phase or trying to only post what I thought you guys wanted to see. So with that being said, and before we get into the assumptions, if there are any kind of videos you do want to see, hit me up in the comments box. I've actually now taken a day off work on a Wednesday, which means I'm gonna have all of Wednesday to be able to make videos, which is gonna be really great because I work 2 jobs. I'm crazy. And yeah, even that in itself, like when I was living in London, there was a period of time where I was only doing YouTube, and then to like move to Bali, and then I was like working 2 amazing jobs that like brought me so much happiness. YouTube sort of took a backseat, but buckle up is all I'm saying, because I really want to take this further. And yeah, let me know if there's any videos you want to see. So with that being said, let's get into these assumptions. I haven't actually read them, so this will be funny. Like question number 1, like they're let's go straight in. So relationship status. I am single. I have been officially single since I left my ex-boyfriend when I moved to Bali, which was in 2019. I came to Bali, decided it was where I wanted to be, and I was in a relationship at the time, which was in London, but I knew if I wanted my whole life to be in Bali, I would have to say goodbye and end that relationship, which was very hard because a lot of you would have known my ex-boyfriend from my videos back when I first started, because we lived together. And yeah, that even in itself was such a huge thing, and not share, and also like changing your life when I just lived with someone for 3 years, and it was during that time that I actually started YouTube. So yeah, I've been single since then. I was dating a guy for the whole of 2020, but it was like not a public relationship. It wasn't even a relationship, it was a situationship. But yeah, I didn't realize what real heartbreak was until I went through that, and it was really hard because we weren't even together. But I'm very much single, I'm not even dating. It's very hard in Bali. It's very difficult. You have your lips done and maybe cheeks and eyes. So I also got another question that says you regret cosmetic surgery. So I have had my lips done and I've had a breast augmentation. I do not regret either. It's money, my own money that I spent on myself. It's actually probably the most money that I've ever spent on myself in like one go, but I would never change it for anything, honestly. I love that we have the ability to change something if we want, and it's also something that I can undo if I want to. Obviously it would require more surgery, but something like getting your lips done, like you can get them dissolved in like a couple of minutes. And obviously if I wanted to change my breast augmentation in the future, I could do that. So I definitely don't regret it, but in terms of my eyes and my cheeks, I have nothing done there. I think it's just great that we can do what we want as humans, but I always want to be super transparent as well, and I would never say that I haven't had something done if I have, you know what I mean? So next assumption, you didn't really like your all-in journey and are happier with a more structure in your diet and fitness. Yes, that is really what I learned through going all in. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, all in was sort of this thing that was done by another fitness influencer, Stephanie Buttermore, where she just like stopped dieting completely and just ate the food she wanted to eat. You know, the way she did it was for her, but the way I did it was for me. That like I hadn't not tracked macros or been on a diet plan in years since I started my fitness journey. And when I got to Bali, I just wanted to be like a quote unquote like normal person and just like eat normally and not worry about food and not worry about macros and not think about things. And I think I just needed to do that for my mental health at the time. But actually now that I've grown and evolved so much as a person, it's like I actually thrive off a little bit of structure. And I think it's super important to actually care what's on your plate and really, you know, eat foods that are nutrient dense and nutritious and digest well for your body, and not feel like you have to just eat anything and everything. And I never did it to just like eat everything and to eat till I was like super full or like binge or anything like that. I just wanted to not worry about tracking and just eat intuitively. However, I do like to have a bit of balance in between, and that's what I feel like I have now. Like I eat pretty much the same meals all the time, and I do go out and have dinners and enjoy myself, but I eat the foods that I know that I love, but I don't like restrict myself either. So it's a really nice balance. However, if you were doing like a bodybuilding prep or anything, there is obviously sacrifice that comes into it. So it's like, do I regret it? I don't regret the fact that it helped me a lot mentally, but at the same time there was a lot of knock-on effects, because then like physically I gained weight, and then mentally maybe that wasn't so great for me at certain periods of time. I never really regret anything because it made me so much stronger as a person, and my relationship with food and everything is really great now. So I feel like people just have to do whatever they want to do at that period in time and like what their intuition is telling them. And then if it doesn't work out, like there's going to be lessons learned from it. And yeah, you can always take lessons and look for the growth and stuff no matter what you go through. Next assumption, you aren't too close with your family. I also had someone say you're an orphan. So I was super blessed, and I have two parents that are alive. However, I don't speak to my dad, and yeah, I do have a connection with my mom and my little brothers, but they are in Ireland, so I don't really speak to them very much. And obviously I haven't seen them in like so many years. I don't think I've seen my brothers in like 4 or 5 years or something, so it's obviously quite hard, but like this is just where I wanted to be in my life. And you know, you have to make sacrifices sometimes, and for me that was just like obviously living on the other side of the world. However, I do speak to my grandma on FaceTime all the time, and I've been really close with her, but in terms of my like immediate family, I'm not very close with them, but like obviously love them so much because they're like family. It's always hard, I feel, as well with YouTube and stuff. Is like sometimes people are sharing their families and their lives, and I always feel like it's just me. It's hard sometimes, like when I'm watching other YouTubers and stuff, and like you can see how close they are with their family and their friends, with their partners, and then I'm like single and by myself. But you know, each journey is so different, and it's like really just owning yours. Okay, next assumption, you tend to give 1,000% of your heart and soul when you love someone. This is very true for me. I don't know if anyone knows much about astrology, but my Venus, which is like my love planet, is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is a very deep emotional water sign. And I feel like when I love so deeply, but I've also been very hurt. I do definitely have like a shield up and a guard up around myself. I feel like when you've been hurt in the past or have like wounds or trauma or anything, like you can almost like attach and like crave it and like want that from someone else. But I'm actually the opposite. I definitely have big walls up and I'm very hard to let myself love people because I try and protect myself. I haven't found that person to share and explore that love with fully yet and really like have a conscious relationship, I suppose. But I know it's coming. I just have to be very, very patient. When I do, like, it'll be like the most beautiful love ever. But I feel like I haven't even tapped into the depths of what I could love just because I haven't had a safe container to do that in. Next assumption, you'll never move back to England. It's so hard to say never, but I actually can't imagine it. Like, I love Asia so much. I'm just such a sun baby, even though I don't really like go out and tan. I'm very pale. I just like being able to not worry about being cold and just being able to like go out in a shorts and like a tank top and just feeling like really comfortable. I feel like if I could live anywhere, it would be like America or Australia, and obviously like on the coast, so like somewhere nice and warm. But like, I don't dislike England. Like, there's so much great things about it. There is certain things that you just love about home, or like what you know to be home, but at the same time, like, there's so much more of the world. Like, I would prefer to travel around like Asia and South America for the rest of my life than like settle somewhere like that. Honestly, you know, it would be cool to have a property there, you know, and be able to go back and then have it as like a rental or something, but like, I don't see myself living there ever, like, long term. You have a very unhealthy relationship with food and go through fat and thin quickly. So it might sort of seem like that, like if you don't really understand like the bodybuilding world, but like with competitive bodybuilding, which I do, like I've done 14 shows, you have to get very, very thin. And then the thing is, when you get very, very lean, like you don't want to stay very lean. Like, that's crazy. That's like not the healthiest thing to do. So like, you obviously don't want to gain a bunch of weight and like have like a really bad relationship with food, and then because of that like have a bad relationship with your body. But you do want to go back to a healthy body fat and feel like comfortable and normal and still be like athletic, which I am, and like have like muscle definition, but also like not super shredded. So from the outside perspective, it can look like 1 minute you're super lean, like, which I was like 44 kilos for my show, and now I'm just like normal. But it's not because like it's a bad relationship with food. It's literally like prepping for a show and getting shredded because that's what's needed to be a competitive bodybuilder, and then gaining weight to be a normal functioning human being with healthy hormones and good skin and like an elevated mood and not being irritable or anything. Like, there's a method to it when done correctly. And you know, I have a great relationship with my body and food, and you know, I always say like I loved my body when it was lean, but I also love it when it's not lean. Like, I'm not attached to either, and this is solely because I've been both so many times that like I'm not attached to either. It's just like, when I want to get lean, I get lean, and when I want to gain weight, I gain weight. Like, it's just like a choice to me versus like a thing I have to be one or the other. It's like I be whatever I want when I want to. And I think once you get that, you get it. You know what I mean? You have no desire to be in a relationship now. And then I also got, you're dating someone. So I do have a desire to be in a relationship. I cannot wait to be in a relationship, like I was saying about love, because I want to just be able to love someone and like explore love with them and grow as a person and be able to adventure with someone and do life with someone. However, I'm not willing to compromise on my values, what I want from a partner, like how I want them to treat me. I swear I could do a whole video on like relationships and like calling in like your partner or what you want or like your non-negotiables. And this isn't like, oh, they have to look like this and do that and this, have this much money. It's like, I want to be treated a certain way, and this is just like my own healthy boundaries that I've set within myself. And also like, I don't want to be in any sort of toxic relationship. I want it to be like a really beautiful thing. And of course there's going to be like trials and stuff that you have to work through together, but it can be such a beautiful and positive thing. And so it's like, I do really want to be dating with someone, but I haven't found that person. I really want to be in like a committed relationship, but yeah, that person just hasn't entered my life yet. I don't even know if they're on the island. Do have the desire, but I don't have a desire to be with the wrong person. Does that make sense? Like, I have a list. I think we all need lists. I have a list of the ways I want the relationship to be. So what we do together, like what kind of life we have, how we talk to each other, how we motivate each other, like have the feelings but not attached to like the person, you know? You're always very positive and happy. So I always have said I'm such a positive person, I'm really happy, which I am. Like I'm super upbeat and lively, but I also have a very, very fiery side and a very emotional side as well. But for a long time, I just like didn't even go there because I had to try and keep myself as like happy as possible, almost like as a survival mechanism. And also it was really hard to tap into the trauma and the hard parts of life. And so for me, being a positive person, I just like didn't want to focus on it, and so I like stayed positive and always focused on the good, which is a beautiful thing. But in order for us to let go of the past and work through it and like really just grow as humans, we have to actually face the hard stuff like head on and really like dive in and go deep with it and feel those feelings and really just like look for the lessons and really embody it. And that's a hard thing, to like look at the things that hurt you and really just allow yourself to feel them, because if not, we subconsciously hold on to them forever. And it took me a long time, and I've had to, over the last couple of years, like really go back to those times in my life where I just stayed positive and I stayed good and I didn't let it bother me, and let it bother me and feel it and get angry at that person and then like forgive them and move through it. And that's been a journey in itself, and that's been really something I've been going through spiritually over the last 2 years. But yeah, I am very positive, I'm very happy, but it's important not to just ignore the other stuff as well. And like when you feel angry, like feel angry, and when you feel sad, feel sad. And I just am trying to teach myself to be able to do that still. You enjoy your own company. I do, and I could like stay at home and chill by myself for like ever, but I realize that sometimes I do this as like a security thing or a safety thing, or because it's like the easy thing to do. But actually, as soon as I go out and do things and like be with people, like I really love that as well. But sometimes I need to like motivate myself to do that, and I don't know if that's like an introverted thing or it's just because I do love my routine and my own company, but I have to make an effort within myself to go and do things. But when I do, like I never regret it. But it's like knowing when to say no, and also knowing that when I do go and do things, like when I want to go home, honoring that and going home and not doing things because someone else made me feel like I should do them, like actually doing things because I want to do it. And then when I want to be in my own company, like be in my own company, and just like having healthy boundaries around that, you know? Okay, maybe one more. I've always wondered how you traveled often and what you did for work. Like you live a great life. Thank you so much. Like honestly, my life has evolved so much and changed so much, which I sort of talked about in the video. When I started YouTube, it was like 2016. I think I was like working for Lululemon at the time. I was like working in retail. Then I worked in a gym on the front desk, and that's when my YouTube channel really started to grow. And then from that I worked in sales, and then I went YouTube full time because it was making me an income, which was crazy because I just made this YouTube channel and this Instagram account. And then because of that, like my life seemed so cool because I was able to travel and this and that, but like it comes at an expense as well, because I was like living in London, and that's a really expensive lifestyle. I was just very much living in the moment, which was amazing, and like having all these crazy cool opportunities come to me because I knew they weren't going to be forever. Moving to Bali, I came just on my like little savings that I had and just sort of took a risk. And then from here I got a job, and I work now. I'm a marketing manager, and I also work in the gym as well as a personal trainer. So like that's how I afford my Bali life now. So it's like not like life has ever been very easy. Like I've always worked for everything I have, but I've always been a risk taker, and I've not been ever afraid to like just live off what I was making, like money in, money out kind of vibe, to get me to where I want to be. There's just like so much that ebbs and flows with life, and Instagram and YouTube is definitely a highlight reel, but at the same time, like I feel like my channel has always been me like sharing the good, the bad, the journeys, like the competitions, the breakups, the moving countries, and it's just like continuing to share that side of life with you guys. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up this video. I've had the aircon off for a very long time. I must really love you. It's so hot in Bali, but yeah, I just wanted to say, guys, I love you so much, and I'm really grateful that you have watched these videos and have stuck by me through all of this, and know that there is always so much more that goes on to someone in their life, and YouTube and the internet can sometimes be hard, and I've definitely gone through it, but I always also, it's brought so much happiness into my life, and and amazing people. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you for everything. Get ready for the next vlog. I think I'm gonna do a day in the life kind of vlog, just like day in the life vlog styles, and just bring you whatever I get up to in life. But yeah, any videos, let me know, leave it in the comments. Hit like if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!